Bill, great to have you here today. I've been having a lot of conversations, predominantly around XDR across the market. I think just on that note, understanding what XDR actually is could be quite a good starting point. It's a fairly recent term. I think XDR has been around or touted for about the last 2 years or so. And it can really be seen as an evolution of endpoint protection or endpoint detection and response. I'm pretty sure Forrester sort of touted that as what XDR, extended detection and response, actually is. But keen to get your opinions on what XDR is across the market.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's a good topic because I think that evolution from the endpoint to a wider extensible detection and response is something it's very prevalent in the market at the moment, and it's what companies need to do to successfully combat the threat. So the extensible nature is really about reaching out beyond the endpoint into those other kind of major areas from an infrastructure perspective: cloud, email, traditional security solutions. We are looking across the enterprise, trying to bring the best possible solutions to cover the evolving threat. So we see that sort of about 60% of our investigations that we take back to our clients actually derive from places other than the endpoint. Business email compromise, for example, cloud threats. So it's important that we have that full extensible scope.
I think that's a really, really good point. I think we have that closed XDR in regards to tools being used from a single vendor. But we also have that approach in regards to open XDR as well, in regards to getting that third-party integration and that telemetry from a number of different solutions within a technology stack. How would you see a modern XDR platform? What does that look like to you?
Modern XDR platforms need to incorporate all the latest technologies and tooling. So obviously we need to be artificial intelligence, machine learning, behavioral analysis, as well as good old-fashioned indicators of compromise to give people the most effective security detection capability. And if we can do that across all these different pools of technology, so regardless of what endpoint technology you're using, what security infrastructure you have in place, we can still extract that and understand what's happening with the environment. That will allow us to make detailed detections as early in the kill chain as possible. But obviously the next part for that is very much the response capability. This is a detection and response. And for those who are really kind of pushed from a resource perspective, they need to have those responses triggered automatically, fine to detect, but now what do we do?
We can understand that small IT teams looking after siloed defenses can be quite costly, quite time consuming, and can lead to things like lots of false positives, alert fatigue, and a number of other challenges. So having an understanding of how XDR can actually transform an organization, actually turn that into a real business driver, is actually a really, really positive thing. It does enable, if you're able to enable an IT person with automation, you're really able to focus on some of the more digital transformation type projects and actually allow innovation in terms of some of the drivers, which is something which is absolutely key within organizations now as well. One of the points that I did want to raise is, as Bytes, we work very, very closely alongside Microsoft. And we do see within this space, the use of SIM tools, especially Sentinel, which is a very, very common one. Really, really interested to understand sort of the SecureWorks approach in regards to how do you, cooperate and integrate with Microsoft, because I do understand that it's done in a slightly different way.
Yeah, it's a very important constituency. Microsoft have got a tremendous presence and a very wide-ranging and rapidly evolving tool set. And so as a security vendor, it's crucial that you're working really closely with Microsoft, that you understand the technologies that are deployed, and absolutely enable the customers to make the most of their significant investments with Microsoft. As it stands at the moment, just over 1,000 of our existing MDR, XDR customers are primarily Microsoft. And one of the sort of issues with the SIEM approach is the more data you bring in, the more you end up paying. So the cost driver and the security driver are almost at odds with each other. So where we've taken this is very much to make a much more predictable pricing model. So we just price on the number of endpoints you have, and then we allow the ingestion of as much data as you can provide. So we take all of that Microsoft data, which means what we've found is for particularly those people struggling with controlling Sentinel costs, or maybe any other SIEM as well, that the SecureWorks Taegis offering is really effective, because we can take that data while still making maximum use of the Microsoft tooling, and just take that SIEM Sentinel issue away from them and give them much more controlled, predictable outcomes.
Absolutely. So that raised a number of fantastic points. I think over the conversation that we've had so far, what are the main key drivers and points that you think would be worth actually taking some time to discuss?
Yeah, I think from a SecureWorks perspective, the Taegis platform offering that open XDR to be really inclusive, to get telemetry and data from as wide a range of places as possible, and bring that, enabling a unified approach to corporate security. The thing, we are backing this with kind of world-leading SOC analysts, so GX certified analysts, 24/7, and also internationally accredited incident response should the worst ever occur. We're one of only 4 companies that are accredited to do critical national infrastructure IR work in the US and the UK. Plus, we're also accredited in Japan, so for people that have got Japanese customer base, we're accredited there too. So our aim is to offer a widest range of cost-effective security solutions, across a range of different businesses, but both IT and increasingly OT as well.
Absolutely. I think it's an immense ecosystem of things that we have to cover from a threat investigation, detection and response piece. And it's well worth the conversation. So for any customers that want to have this conversation and debate, it'd be fantastic to have that conversation and explore things further.
Excellent. Really happy to.
Lovely.
Thank you very much.